Hi, my name is Tony Cabral, and I will be doing a video essay on the film called Heneral Luna. The film Heneral Luna was directed by Gerald Tarag, which displays a rich narrative of General Antonio Luna, one of Philippines history's most truly outstanding commanders of the Filipino Revolutionary Army, as he struggles to lead his country against the Americans. During one of the most critical, violent, chaotic, and confusing times in Philippine history, the film takes place between December 1898 and June 1899. While Heneral Luna follows the typical path of a war film, it is also more fundamentally concerned with investigating how Luna's internal disputes ultimately proved his demise and wrecked any hope of Philippines attaining genuine and lasting independence. During the film, it was shown that there was a lot of traitors, disputes between the politicians and higher leaders, and conflicts between the Philippines. To overcome their heated disputes to realize the promise of the Philippine Revolution, General Luna needed to be a ruthless and a prideful leader. The general also believed that no one, including the highest ranking official or the president, is above the law. He was described as a hot-tempered but intelligent military strategist, which was perfectly conveyed in the film. Luna was one of the best at leading people in battle, but his emotions were his greatest flaw, as the president and other higher ranking officials pointed out. Emotions can be beneficial, of course, but they can lead to irrational behavior if they aren't managed properly, and this can be connected back to ourselves in our own lives. It's so important for us to all understand what we are doing and what we are saying, and for us to determine if it is right or if it's wrong. And this can only be done if we don't let our emotions cloud our judgment. In today's society, a lot of things we want to do involve the support, the guidance, and even the direct help from others. And in a world full of perspectives, it's important that we acknowledge how we convey ourselves. There's many people that go about life thinking that the negative behavior that they inflict on people is justified by a positive goal. But coming back to this film, we can unfortunately see that this pride and ruthless approach to leadership caused the Philippine president to see General Luna as a threat. Also, many rumors were told to the president that General Luna was plotting to take over the land's dictator. As a result, Antonio Luna was assassinated by his people rather than on Philippine-American war battlefields. Because the man who killed General Luna was the Filipino president's security, the president was closely investigated. The saddest part for me is that Antonio Luna's assassination remains a mystery to this day, and justice was never served. Moving forward, this is one of the most expensive Filipino historical films ever made, with a production budget of 80 million pesos. It surpassed the previous record of 160 million pesos on September 29, 2015, to become the highest grossing film in the Filipino historical film industry. The film definitely deserves the amount of love it received. The directors, the actors, the screenwriters, and everyone else involved with the production of this film poured their hearts into it, creating a masterpiece. The quality of this film shows in all areas. The plot was true to historical facts. The acting, especially by John Arcilla, was very captivating. The writing was perfectly crafted to keep us engaged in the themes the film was trying to portray. A lot of historical films are so serious to the point that it can sometimes be boring and draw the viewer's attention elsewhere. But this film had multiple comedic moments without crossing that line of realism and a fictional comedy. This film is full of joy, laughter, despair, anguish, conflicts, and realizations. In today's film industry, we don't see this type of historical event-based narratives driven by these types of characteristics very often. Overall, the cinematography was great, the CGI was believable, and the music matched the emotions and enhanced the tone of the film at any given moment. The director of this film even studied music composition in college, and this gave him expertise to craft the musical score that we witnessed in this film. For me, it was incredible to watch how much courage and passion the Red Cross women had, the battlefield doctors, and the war participants had to fight for a country they loved and followed a leader, Antonio Luna, who many of them believed in. Even in the face of danger, they never gave up. When the numbers against the Americans were overwhelming, and even when Antonio Luna fled into battle, everyone followed right behind him. Everyone is devoted to their leaders and their countries. This, however, was their biggest weakness. Many of these individuals had differing perspectives on war, which drove Filipinos to turn on one another. They were fighting a civil war between themselves while also fighting the Americans. They eventually lost the war to them turning on each other. This is one of the biggest underlying themes in this film that the directors was trying to portray to the audience. Our greatest enemies is ourselves, General Antonio Luna said in one of the scenes. This stood at me because the film General Luna is a powerful portrayal of one's man life and the concept that Filipinos are their own greatest enemies. This issue resonates powerfully in the current times in the sense that if we keep being our own worst enemies, we'll only know what we are and what we are capable of, but we'll never achieve anything. General Luna brings this light to this theme. Historical films are brilliant because this gives people in the modern day better appreciation for what we have sacrificed, what has been sacrificed for us, and films like this allow audience to gain a better understanding of historical events through another point of view. Most of the time, most of the time we don't have a shared goal, and if someone goes ahead of us, we prefer to bring them down. This is just how real life is and how people react and how people behave. We see how powerful leaders can be in this film, but we also see how these powers are frequently abused. We are unable to rise above our shallowness in order to provide and attain a larger benefit. We keep to our own bad habits. The final scenario that struck with me the most, and which I must say is highly graphic, demonstrates our inability to see past our emotions for greater good. We lack the inner values that would motivate us to put our country first. The pain of dying for your nation, as Heneral Luna experienced, is as horrible as watching our country slowly die. It was such a breathtaking experience to watch Luna being slaughtered by other men at the end of the film. It was awful to see a man who dedicated and fought for a country he loved that he would do anything to die in a massacre. This is a harsh world full of opposing opinions, so you'll be regarded as a hero or an enemy. At the time, Luna was an enemy of his own people, but he is, in my opinion, a hero.